Welcome to Mogadishu Times, Congressman Keith Ellison. You just have met officials from the Somali money transfer companies and officials from the Franken Bank. What was the discussion about, Congressman?
Well, first of all, let me say Salaam Alaikum, Ilyas. It's good to be here with you with the Mogadishu Times. The discussion focused on how we can keep money flowing to Somalia. Quite simply, one of the banks that helps to facilitate remittances from the United States to Somalia has now become worried about the degree of risk. They're worried that they could end up being prosecuted on a criminal basis or having the regulations come on them, because recently a lady named Amina Ali was convicted of gathering money for Al-Shabaab and then using a service to transmit that money. This bank was not used to transmit the money, but they fear that if somebody were to do that, that the government would come down on them, so that they're saying that they're just going to stop doing it. So the community was trying to convince them to stay open, and then also to not just stay open, but to actually continue to work with them, so that they could continue to have this aid. So a lot of good ideas were displayed. People shared a lot of information, but at the end of the day, the question was, how do we keep money flowing through the regular financial services system to Somalis who need it?
The American Refugee Committee helps the Somali famine victims. They use Franklin Bank to send money.
Right.
The Hawalas, apart from the business side, they are the lifeline for all Somalis. And if the bank goes ahead with its decision, it will affect millions of people.
Right.
What is your office doing to stop this action?
Well, we're doing a number of things. The first thing we're doing is we're working with people in the executive branch of the government, the Treasury Department, we're working with the White House, we're working with the State Department, all to say, look, we need you to work with us to give the banks some assurances that if they operate legally and properly, that they will not be prosecuted if somebody uses the bank to transmit money and uses the bank for an improper purpose. So a lot of the times, these people who want to gather up money and then send it to a terrorist group, they don't tell the bank that's what they want to do, right? They try to lie to the bank, or at least not tell the bank what they're doing. But the fact is that I'm working with these agencies so that they will help me give the bank some language to make them comfortable to leave the lines of money transmission open, so that Somalis can continue to receive the money that they need. So we're working day and night. I've devoted my whole staff to doing it, and inshallah we'll get a positive result. But we need the prayers of everyone. We need the help of everyone. We need the good ideas of everyone, because of course, nobody can do these things alone.
Congressman, if the Hawala is closed, some say that Somali Americans will send money to their loved ones using other means. Do you think that these other channels will pose more risks than the current system?
Yes, I think that the current system actually minimizes risk, because when you wire money, you have to show ID, say who you are, and do it like that. Now, of course, people can lie about their identity, but at least there are some safeguards. But what's going to happen if people start gathering up money, put it in a suitcase, and then get on an airplane and then fly to Mogadishu? Then there's no way to know what kind of money is being sent in, who it's being sent to. There's no control at all to make sure that Al-Shabaab or any terrorist group is not getting money. So this actually is going to have, I think it's going to have negative consequences if the Hawalas are shut down. Do a good thing, trying to help and provide an important service. And this is basically entrepreneurship, which is America's supposed to be all about that. Why would we want to stifle this effort? So I think you're right. The risks are greater in changing things, and this offers the most security.
Congressman, do you think it's really fair to punish the whole community for the actions of a few?
No, I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair. I think that, look, the Somali community is not just a good community. It's a outstanding community. We have people running for office. My good friend Hussein Samatar just won a school board seat. Good friend of mine, Mahmoud Noor, almost won a state senate seat, came within about 300 votes. And the Somali community in the United States, and in Minnesota in particular, is integrating well into the community. People are starting businesses every day. They're educating their children. Things are going really well. And so, to punish the community because Amina Ali got convicted for doing the wrong thing is collective and group punishment, and I think it's wrong. But you know what? We don't live in the world we wish we had. We live in the world we have. And in that world, sometimes people do attribute the bad actions of a few to the group. And all we can do is stand up and try to fight against that,
The bank said they want to get waiver from the United States government, similar to what humanitarian organizations got in order to continue services they provide. Do you think the government might look into the humanitarian perspective of this issue?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm making sure the government is looking at the humanitarian perspective on this. This is why I've contacted the State Department, the Department of Justice, Treasury, and we are just going down the line, doing everything we can possibly do to help them understand the dire situation in the Horn of Africa. Now, the drought is hitting Kenya, it's hitting Ethiopia, and it's hitting Somalia, but because of the political situation, the drought has been converted into a famine and a very dire situation. So we're making them aware of this, pressing them on this issue, and at the end of the day, I think that they will, God willing, be convinced that they need to be of assistance and prevent a humanitarian crisis.
My last question, Congressman, is what do you want to say to the Somali community that are watching you right now,
right,
and concerned about this issue?
What I'd like to say to the Somali community is that your congressman, me, I'm working as hard as I can to keep the hawalas open. We need everybody's help. We need everybody's ideas. You should write letters. You should send information. You should make calls to my office, but also to the Department of Justice, to the Department of State, to let them know how vital this process is. We need to hear from you. We also need to ask you to look. 99.999% of all Somalis, are here to make not just Minnesota better, but the whole world and their families better off. A few individuals took actions that were wrong, but the Somali community can continue to send the message out that doing things to wire money to Al-Shabaab is ultimately going to hurt the Somali community. And so I know the community is already sending the word out, but you got to keep sending the word out, because I doubt that Amina Ali, who got herself convicted, I doubt she realized that her activity could result in harming literally thousands, maybe millions of Somalis. She wasn't thinking about that. She was just thinking about doing what she wanted to do. But her actions has caused this bank to think about cutting the line off to everyone. And I just hope that that people understand that if you know anyone who is thinking about doing something like what Amina Ali did, you got to make them stop it, because they're hurting everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.